neck of the woods with a follow-up video to the last video that I made where I was talking about my experience in college while attending an HBCU. HBCU, which stands for Historically Black College and University. Now, in the last video, I was talking about, well, I was getting into the dating experiences that I had while attending my college, or lack thereof. So, so yeah, I wasn't able to attract, you know, type of girls I wanted to date and whatnot, and there was a lot of reasons for that. There was a lot of reasons, and I'm gonna admit to you all. Basically, well, I didn't have any game. I really didn't have game. I was shy. I was timid, and I lacked confidence in myself. And what do you expect from someone who was basically mentally, emotionally, psychologically abused by his single mother who was raising him all his life, and then before you could make amends to it, well, not really me make amends, but really come to some sort of closure, or just try to work on the situation, then my mom died. So my mom basically abused me in many different forms growing up, and I'm not just talking about physical abuse. That was like the least. It was all the other stuff, and then she passed away, and I wasn't able to have any closure on that, and still to this day. But that's something else. So, but at that time, that was just fresh. It had just happened. So of course I'm not gonna you know, have I don't know, like the way I handle things. I just basically in a state of shell shock. So I didn't have any game. I grew up in Orange County, like I've said many times, in Southern California. And how could I master talking to black women when I didn't even master talking to the non-black women where I grew up at? And looking back on it now in hindsight, a lot of white and Hispanic girls that I went to school with, from grade school all the way to high school, a lot of them liked me. But at that time, I didn't think so. So now you fast forward a few years later, and I'm in college, and it's like a total different new beast talking to these black women. And it was just totally different. It was like on another level of game, okay, which I didn't have. So, so you had that situation, and then I'm a black man, and according to them, I spoke proper. That's their terminology. They said I speak like a white boy. So that wasn't appealing to them. And of course, since I was that way, and I grew up in Orange County, in the suburbs, and I didn't grow up in the hood, so I didn't have the typical nigga swag that a lot of black women really want if they're like dealing with and interacting with black men or young black males. Yeah, I didn't have that swag as motherfuckers like to always talk about. So that was another strike against me. But, I was good looking, even though at that time I didn't realize it or think of myself as that. But I was handsome, and I dressed good. Well, I thought I dressed good. I was presentable, you know. And then you have, yeah, but you know that I soon realized living in Nashville, Tennessee, living down south, that really didn't matter. It didn't matter how handsome I was there. It wasn't like growing up in Southern California where looks is definitely more important than anything else, except for swag. You still gotta have swag if you're dealing with black women anywhere in the country of the United States of America. But but I grew up in Orange County, so I didn't have to worry about that too much. I just didn't quite have natural normal game. But yeah, the dating experience was very frustrating and difficult. And then down south people, down south niggas, they have this what I call guerrilla game. And the guerrilla game is they don't give a fuck. All they're gonna do is just be thirsty and approach a woman. Basically putting that bitch on a pedestal. That's it. That's all they care about. And they just feel that that's what a real man is supposed to do. A real black man. Um, he's supposed to just holler at every girl. Just holler. Holler, 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 holler. That's it. It don't matter if she turn you down or how she turn you down. Just holler. Holler, holler, holler. And you gotta have game. You gotta have the mouthpiece. And that fucking shit. So then you have that. Another experience I'm gonna talk about, and this is where it got really bad. Well, before I get to that, it was during that time when I came up with the terminology "t-shirt nigga," which you hear me use in my YouTube videos from time to time when I'm talking about a certain type of black male. It was during that time, about 15, 16 years ago, I came up with the terminology t-shirt nigga because those were the niggas who was just cleaning house, like mopping the floor, getting pussy from these bitches. It was the t-shirt nigga. You would, and then if it wasn't the t-shirt nigga, it was the, for like I said, the fraternity, the frat boys, which that's expected, or the athlete. I think I forgot to include that in the last video. The college athlete. But you know what? The surprising thing was, it was these low budget, low life ass t-shirt niggas who was getting the bitches. They were. It made no sense to me. I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone. But this really fucked up experience, I'm gonna tell you, that really stands out compared to the rest of my college experiences. And this happened toward like the middle of my college experience. And basically, it was this experience where I met this girl. Now, I wasn't approaching this girl. I didn't I didn't holler at her. And you know what? And all these niggas always talk about how you just gotta holler, holler, holler. And it was from me, and I didn't really holler as hard as the next man did. But by me not hollering at this particular female is what saved me. And basically, this particular female, she claimed that I stalked her, which was false, which was a lie. That just did not happen. This particular girl, and you know what? I'm gonna refer to her as Red, and this is her true nickname. I normally don't give people's name or even nickname. I usually don't do that, but fuck it. In this video, I'm actually giving you her real nickname, and I've since forgotten her real name, but I'm gonna give you her real nickname. And she went by Red. That was her nickname, Red, and that was the name she used. Now, I actually hollered at Red's friend. Red's friend was this one chick that I was caught myself talking to, but that didn't really turn to anything, such as was the case while I was attending the school. And then this particular girl, Red's friend, she left my school. During that time while she was there, she introduced me to Red as her friend. Red was this real popular chick at my school. She looked like Tisha Campbell back when she was on Martin. She looked just like her. She really did. The only difference is Red had long hair. I don't know or remember, I think if it was a weave or not. I don't know. But she wore her hair longer, whether it was a weave or not. She had longer hair and she had a bigger ass than Tisha Campbell. And Tisha Campbell ass was already nice as it was. So Red was fine as hell. She was light skinned just like all the niggas liked. She had a big ass and she had long hair. I think it was her real hair. I think she took good care of her hair and she just pressed it and made it long. So, yes, she was attractive and everything. But that was it. I didn't approach women. I was shy. I didn't holler as much or as often or as hard as the next man did. And besides, I was interested in Red's friend, who I thought was attractive too. And that didn't lead to anything. So her friend left my school, didn't attend the semester. She just dropped out, disappeared. The friend did. But Red kept going to school just like I did. So I saw Red in the next semester. Now, I would, usually, like dudes who have little game, they just chit chat, small talk, and say hello. And I thought about doing it, but something told me don't say nothing to that girl. And usually, what I did was my approach anyway was in general, not with just Red, but in most cases dealing with women, was I let them speak to me, which that almost never happened. But I felt, hey, if she liked me, that's what she'll do. And I was like, well, I'm not gonna speak to her or say hi unless she speaks to me first. And she never did. I said, oh, okay, well, I'm still not gonna speak to her. And then next thing I knew, later on in the semester, I was accused of stalking a chick. Now, at that time, I didn't know it was done by Red. I really didn't know who it was done by. I couldn't figure it out. But some chick, some school administrator stopped me, telling me that he wants to talk to me. Long story short, went to an administrator's office and I got chewed out by this fucking raggedy old black bitch, educated old black bitch, saying I'm stalking some chick. But anyway, Red at that time when she made this accusation, I was in her classroom. We were classmates. And again, ample opportunity for her to speak to me, and she never did, and I never spoke to her. I just left it at that. But somehow I'm accused of stalking her, come to find out. And then what made that whole situation miserable, because I thought something was going to happen, but nothing happened. Because nothing did happen. I didn't do anything. They couldn't prove it. So the case was dropped. So now we had this awkward moment every time we run into each other the rest of the time I was at school. And of course, I stayed at school for 6 years instead of 4. And that was like 2 more extra years of misery. That I had to go to that raggedy fucking school and randomly running into this fucking bitch for not the rest of the time I was there until I graduated. And that is all I gotta say on this matter. Neck of the woods. Have a good night.